We have, now this is work in progress, we have drafted a kind of declaration from this meeting, but it needs filling up because we really need to determine what actions are there. And we would just like to, until the website launch of Empower Lanka gets going, we would like to present that on the screen, the declaration from the meeting, which is work in progress, which will be handed over to the youth actually to join us in carrying it forward. So please bear with us. This is in very, very small print, and let me read it out to you very quickly. The declaration gives in the first 3 paragraphs, which we will circulate to you, the background situation of the country as well as the reason for this convention. So we talk about the potential for social, economic, physical and cultural development not being reached. And the second paragraph talks about how the country has progressed to a lesser extent than its potential owing to a lack of proper and effective planning. And it goes on the lines of planning and programming. And the third paragraph is the means of access to English as a common medium of instruction. It also deals with the other popular topic on structured vocational training and values education. And the last paragraph, number 4, deals with the actual declaration. The People's Convention held on February 2023 declares that citizens from all walks of life, especially youth, participate in meaningful actions to resolve the root causes of a lack of equitable and sustained development by engaging in continuous dialogue and activities suggested by experts and the participants present at the convention and outside, with the aim of bringing about positive changes for our citizens. The means to achieving these results are by engaging in think tanks for policy and program formulation and implementation, constructive evidence-based critique on events and actions that are detrimental, and providing a platform for molding prudent leaders of tomorrow to replace the less visionary rulers that the country is led by today. The actions implemented as a way forward from the convention should be watched over and monitored by the citizens themselves, and we will list out the agreed upon actions. So that is actually work in progress. Thank you. Tushi, are we ready with the launch of the website? I call upon Richard to invite Dr. Walter Jayasinghe and Mrs. Aisha Jayasinghe to launch Empowering Lanka, and the objectives of which would be described by Richard.
So this is what actually we are looking forward to doing something for our country without actually talking a lot of things today. We want to show you all how we are going to alleviate poverty in certain districts. This was an initiative mooted 15 years ago by Dr. Sarath Semiratna, who lives in Cayman Islands. So he was briefly associated with this convention, and certain ideas that were cast on him, that we were involved with the Aragalaya, we certainly was inspired by the Aragalaya. There's no two words for us to be here and address grievances and to embark on this good governance association that we formed for finding answers. So one of the things that we want to do is get the Sri Lankan community out of Sri Lanka to actually donate into this fund. And also, the Sri Lankans can give 5 rupees, 10 rupees, and swell this fund up. And we want to go according to the most impoverished districts in the north and the south. We want to start off with Monaragala and Mullatiu and make sure that some of the things that we have been talking about, like giving IT knowledge, English, empowering small and medium entrepreneurs, start their business, people who can't give collateral to a bank and get a loan. So those type of things, we have set up a board of directors who will actually decide the criteria, and in collusion with government, with the government, we decide who deserves to be the recipients. So for that purpose, we are going to launch rather, a very transparent platform, a web where every donation, if it's a rupee, 10 rupees, $10, all of it will be clearly shown. The inflow and the outflow will be there at the click of a button. So we have had a long session. May I call upon Dr. Walter Singh also to speak a couple of words, because he is a primary mover of this convention and supported us to get this off the road, and a real benefactor and a true Sri Lankan at heart, and given so much for Sri Lanka in order to develop and take projects forward. So, Mr. and Mrs. Dr. and Mrs. Jayasinghe, please come here and have a small chat.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to launch this website, you come to this side, for the benefit of our country. And the key feature is that every cent that comes in will be transparent. We will show an example of it in our website itself. So there's nothing that is not seen by the public. So every cent that goes into a project or into a village or into a school will also be seen by anybody who wants to see it. And we want to continue this because the example we got is from Taiwan. There's a non-profit organization there. When Taiwan was going through hard times, they had a Buddhist group, I can't remember the exact name, that told all the people in that temple to give one of the $1 or rupee or whatever it is that they use, yuan or something, to the fund. And they did this, and today there are 20 million people around the world giving $1 each, and they collect $20 million a month for each of their projects. And during the time we had our tsunami here, they sent 5 doctors from their group in America, and they worked in all the southern hospitals, Amantara Hospital, Matra Hospital. They left their jobs in America and came and worked. And they also built 200 houses in the south with their money. So it can be very, very helpful if everybody donates at least 100 rupees a month or 5 rupees a month. Or for the foreign people, will ask for $1 a month to this fund. And we might be able to have a very good result if we put it right way to the people people, the right people around the world. And I have a foundation called Sri Lanka Foundation that has contacts with 22 countries around the world now, cultural contact. We can also spread through our foundation the same word and let this fund here be filled with funds that we need to help the downtrodden people of this country. So please help us launch it today. And one thing that we want to keep out of is politics. There are not going to be any politics anywhere around this organization, and we don't want politics. Thank you. Richard?
I would actually like to do a bit of maths, just arithmetic rather. If 20 million people gave $5 each, it's 100 million rupees for a month. That is locally. So we can raise very much more with the help of the government, get an approved charity, maybe enacted by a statute in Parliament, where people can donate more rather than paying huge taxes. So that is real poverty alleviation. You can be rest assured that we, at the end of the day, we can sleep at night saying that we have done our best to alleviate poverty in our motherland. So those thoughts should be carried away from this place. We will do our best to influence the politicians to act and breed in a new set of politicians to follow our principles and good governance. But what we launched today just now is a thing that can act immediately and start from the most impoverished districts, and we will have a criteria and a board resolution on how best to disburse these funds. Thank you very much. Yeah. Mrs. Ayesha Jasing also would like to say a couple of words.
Okay, hi everyone. We have gone through a lot of good things that was spoken about and hopefully find solutions for. We are mostly into the volunteering position of trying to help the needy, and there's a lot of them, and also to educate our youth. We believe in English and into the internet and be able to come up to standard and to the time of today where everybody uses a computer. So we are working with some other people, friends, that we are trying to implement that. And according to the government stats, they are also trying to do that. So we'll keep you posted. And it's for anybody and everybody, mostly in the areas where they don't have any computers and other things that they need to really get ahead of the game, as it were. So we are also involved in that, but we are also involved in a lot of other charitable things like drug rehabilitation, social needs and wants. And so this is one of the things that we are doing here with them. And we like all of you to help, because all the money that will come will go towards the correct institute and correct programs that will help our people now and in the future. So thank you very much for coming and listening. Thank you very much.
I want to interfere with something. There was this discussion that went on about how could we have peace in our communities. I like to add something. Not only English compulsory and your own mother tongue compulsory, I think we should all learn all 3 languages.
Thank you very much, Dr. Walter and Mrs. Jayasinghe, for everything done so far and also what you continue to do. We now, for the conclusion, have 3 young people because it's your future, delivering the vote of thanks very briefly in the 3 languages. I therefore call upon Ishan to speak in Sinhala, and Ishan's Sinhala is excellent. Chamatya Fernando, who is a very estimable young woman, who is also a member of the World Board of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. There are only 12 board members, and Chamatya is one. And we also call upon Satyaseelan Nityalini from Hindu Ladies College and from one of our children's clubs in Nagaswatha, Colombo 5. A big round of applause. Is Chamatya here? Ah, yes. I must explain that Chamatya, when we told her to deliver the vote of thanks, said, look, I have not worked on this convention, so how can I be a fraud and deliver a vote of thanks? But then we said, Chamatya, you can thank the adults for the way forward and please join us in this journey. So first of all, Ishan in Sinhala.
සියලුම සම්භාවනීය අමුත්තන් සහ පැමිණ සිටින සියලු දෙනාගෙන්ම අවසරයි මම බොහොම කෙටියෙන් කියන්නම් මොකද අපි වෙලාව ගොඩක් ගිහිලා තියෙන නිසා මුලින්ම මම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා වෛද්‍ය වෝල්ටර් ජයසිංහ සහ එම මැතිනිය සහ ඒ වගේම විසාකල් තේරකරත්න මැතිනිය ඊළඟට මිස්ටර් රිෂඩ් ඩිසෝයිසා මේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක මෙච්චර තාක්කල් අපිට මේක කරන්න අවස්ථාව හම්බුනේ ඔවුන්ගෙන් ලැබිච්ච හැම සහයෝගයක්ම නිසා විශේෂයෙන් මේ ෆයිනෑන්ෂල් විතරක් නෙමෙයි ඒ මෝරල් සපෝට් එකේ හැම දෙයක්ම තිබිච්ච නිසා තමයි අපිට මේ වැඩේ සාර්ථක කරගන්න පුළුවන් වුණේ. ඒ නිසා ඔවුන්ට බොහොම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම මේක සාර්ථක වෙන්නේ නැහැ මෙතනට ඕගොල්ලෝ ආවේ නැත්තම්. ඒ නිසා මෙතනට ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නවා ගොඩාක් ලංකාවේ දොර බැහැර පළාත්වල ඉඳලා යාපනයේ සිට මං හිතන්නේ මොන්රාගල දක්වා හැම පැත්තෙම ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්නවා ගොඩක් අය. ඒ හැමෝටම බොහොම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා මෙතනට ඇවිල්ලා ඔබේ වටිනා කාලය මේ වෙනුවෙන් මිඩංගු කිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන්. ඊළඟට මම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා මේකට අද සම්බන්ධ වෙච්ච සම්පත්දායකයෝ. මිස්ටර් මෛත්‍රී ගුණරත්න ඊළඟට මිස්ටර් මුර්තසා ජැෆර්ජී ඊළඟට මිස්ටර් ඔමර් ખાન I thank you so much. ඒ වගේම ඒ පැනල් ඩිස්කෂන්ස් වලට සම්බන්ධ වෙච්ච හැමෝටමත් ඒ මොඩරේටර්ස්ලා ඇතුළු ඒ හැමෝටම මම ගොඩාක් ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා මේ සාකච්ඡා මේ මණ්ඩපය මේ සභාව නිකම්ම ටෝක් ෂොප් එකක් නෙමෙයි බට් ඇත්තටම ඉස්සරහා ගැන අපිට සුබවාදී බලාපොරොත්තු තියාගන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් කියලා අපිට ඒත්තු ගන්නවන්න සමත් වීම ගැන ඊළඟට මම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා නැවතත් මේ ට්‍රස්ට් ෆොර් ගුඩ් ගවර්නන්ස් මොකද මමත් ට්‍රස්ටි කෙනෙක් හැටියට මට බොහොම ආඩම්බරයි මේකට සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න ලැබීම ගැන ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා අද මේ යූත් මේ ඩෙක්ලරේෂන් එක මෙතනදී ප්‍රසන්ට් කිරීම ගැන මොකද අපි දන්නවා ඉස්සරහට මේ ඩෙක්ලරේෂන් එක ඇත්තටම ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් එකේ ඉම්ප්ලිමන්ට් වෙන්න නම් කියන්නේ භූමියේ ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්න නම් අපි හැමෝම මේක එකට එක් වෙලා ක්‍රියාත්මක කළ යුතුයි. ඒ නිසා ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා ඒක සම්පාදනය කිරීම ගැන. ඊළඟට මම අවසාන වශයෙන් ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා බණ්ඩාරනායක මේ BMICH එකේ කාර්ය මණ්ඩලයට සහ හැමෝටම මේක අපිට මෙතන මේ ඉවෙන්ට් එක කරන්න ඔබේ උපරිම සහයෝගය දැක්වීම ගැන හැමෝටම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙන ගමන් මං කාලය ඊටාම සීමිත නිසා මම මෙතනින් අවසන් කරනවා බොහොම ස්තුතියි.
Now it will be the vote of thanks in Tamil.
நல்லாட்சிக்கான மக்கள் மாநாடு இன்றைய தினம் நல்லாட்சிக்கான மக்கள் மாநாட்டில் இடம்பெற்ற நிகழ்வுகள் குறித்து இலங்கை மற்றும் உலக இளைஞர்களை பிரதிநிதித்துவப்படுத்தும் நாம் மிகவும் மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறோம். ஒரு நம்பிக்கையான எதிர்காலத்தை எமக்கு வழங்குவதற்கு எமது பெரியோர்கள் பொறுப்பேற்று கொண்டிருப்பதானது பாராட்டத்தக்கதாகும். எம்மிடம் ஒப்படைக்கப்பட்ட இந்த பிரகடனத்தை நாங்கள் மிகவும் வினயமையுடன் எடுத்து கொள்வதுடன் உங்களுக்கு உதவுவதற்கு பிரகடனத்தை நாங்கள் மிகவும் வினயமுடன் எடுத்துக்கொள்வதுடன் உங்களுக்கு உதவுவதற்கு இப்போதிருந்து என்ன நடக்கிறது என்பதை அவதானித்து வருவதற்கு எதிர்பார்க்கின்றோம். இலங்கையை வலுவூட்டும் முயற்சிகளை முன்னெடுத்து வரும் நல்லாட்சிக்கான மன்றத்திற்கு எமது மனமார்ந்த நன்றிகள். இங்கு இடம்பெற்ற கலந்துரையாடல்களின் உள்ளடக்கத்தால் நாங்கள் மிகவும் கவரப்பட்டுள்ளோம். நிகழ்வில் பங்கு பற்றிய திரு மைத்ரி குணரத்ன மற்றும் முக்கிய பேச்சாளர்கள் குழுவிற்கு எமது நன்றி. உங்களை போன்ற பங்கேற்பாளர்கள் இல்லாமல் இந்த மாநாடு சாத்தியமாயிருக்காது. நீங்கள் தான் மாற்றத்தை ஏற்படுத்தியவர்கள். இந்த முயற்சிகளை வினைத்திறனாக முன்னெடுத்து செல்ல மிக முக்கிய தூணாக இருக்கும் ஊடகங்களுக்கு நன்றி. 2023 ஜனவரி 25 இடம்பெற்ற ஊடக மாநாட்டின் ஆரம்பத்தில் இருந்தே நீங்கள் ஈடுபட்டுள்ளீர்கள். சிறந்த பொது தொடர்பு மற்றும் சமூக ஊடக முன்னெடுப்பை முன்னெடுத்த திரு சமிந்த மற்றும் திரு தாபரே ஆகியோரின் பணிகளும் பாராட்டுக்குரியது. நீங்கள் உண்மையிலே ஊடகங்களின் பங்களிப்பை அடைந்து கொள்வதில் செயற்திறமாக ஈடுபட்டுள்ளீர்கள். துஷி வீரசிங்க தலைமையிலான செயற்பாட்டு குழு மற்றும் திருமதி ஹர்ஷினி பெரேரா மற்றும் ஹெவின்டின் ஹமரசிங்க ஆகியோரின் ஒத்துழைப்புடன் அவர்களின் குழுக்களின் பணிகள் மிக சிறப்பாக அமைந்துள்ளன. பண்டாரநாயக்க ஞாபகார்த்த சர்வதேச மாநாட்டு மண்டப நிர்வாகத்திற்கு உங்கள் வழக்கமான வினைத்திறன் எமக்கு பெரும் உதவியாய் அமைந்திருப்பது. நீங்கள் இந்த நிகழ்விற்கு பொருத்தமான சூழலை ஏற்படுத்தி தந்துள்ளீர்கள். இதில் வேறெவரேனும் விடுபட்டிருந்தால் நாங்கள் மன்னிப்பு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம். அனைவருக்கும் எங்கள் மனமார்ந்த நன்றிகள்.
Thank you very much. Nandri. Chamartya will address you in English.
Hi everyone. Firstly, thank you so much for inviting me to be an attendee of this event, because as a youth activist, I've been in this space for the last 10 years. And I think as a young person who probably, even during the Aragalia, who went on to the road and, fought for what we believe in, that need to happen and had to change, and sat on the road and, with my fellow university students, especially when the first internet blackout happened during that Aragalia time. And I think post that, we also, yes, it definitely was a turning point, but I think it's also about how, we strategize into what exactly we need in terms of the changes in policies in structural and systematic way. Yes, we spoke a lot about and focus a lot on issues, but I think it's also about what exactly we need to change in terms of our recommendations we make, and what's the kind of language we need so that the change that we want to see really happens, or when it is implemented, it really reaches out to where it needs to go into. So yes, I wanted to thank to all of you who have really conceptualized this, resourced this effort. Because most of the time what we see is that even if we have a lot of ideas, we want to do so many things, we do not find the resourcing to do it. So I'm thankful to each of you who really resourced this effort to make it happen, and would be supporting this effort, because we wouldn't want it to be something that just is like Ishan said, like a talk show, and then people come, enjoy the refreshments and go and forget this. We want it to have a sustainability that would really make the impact to the community and the change we want to see in this country. So I'm thankful to everyone, especially starting from the people who had the idea to do it, to everyone who really, brought in that resourcing, the effort, the hard work that went on to, bring all of you here and, have this space for all of us. But also I think it's about, somewhere down, some of the conversation around accountability came. I think it's about our own accountability too. As much as we hold the government, the state accountable, it's also about the accountability that we would have within ourselves to see, as a Sri Lankan citizen, what is my duty, what can I do to make that change happen. So I think someone mentioned about media, which I feel is extremely critical, because some of the communication that comes out wouldn't necessarily be the truth. So I think they hold so much responsibility to really make sure that that communication goes out to the people, so that the truth comes out. And I think, especially in efforts like this, to really mobilize the people together and make the change happen, I think we definitely need each and every individual support, each and every field, sector to come together. So I can only wish all the best to the effort that has been put into this and give my support to whatever the work that will happen in the future. So thank you very much.
Richard has a few very short remarks on really getting to the core of all this, after which we will hand over the declaration, work in progress, to the three youth who just spoke. Nidulaini, can you come forward also? Richard, all yours.
I won't waste very much of time because it has been a long morning. It has gone into the afternoon as well. But one thing that I want to leave you all with is, I keep stressing that this education ministry is the pivotal ministry to cure all our ills in about 10-15 years. So I want more emphasis because that was not discussed at the panel. Maybe the panelists are talking about the current situation, but we have to think visionary. We have to think ahead. All these panels have to think 10 years, 15 years ahead. So we have to start spreading our initiatives, agitating and getting those done, because all of you all in this room will agree, ethics, common medium of instruction, and channeling all the students who are dropouts into vocational training is the way to move forward, and to build up a prosperous nation. We have to get those three things going. That is just three. There are so many other things that have to go with it. But these are very important, and I want to stress on those. Thank you.
I call upon Richard to hand over the declaration to the three youth. Yeah, at the center of stage. Come, can you all, Ishan, Chamatya and Nidulaini, can you, yes, come to the center. And can we have a photograph? And it's not just symbolic, but we would like to have the representation of youth in all these thematic areas, making your meaningful contribution. Yes, Richard.
Call all the panelists and moderators.
Okay. So, Richard, of course, requests that the moderators also come on stage to hand over this to the youth symbolically this time.
Come, Sarah. Sarah. There's only one moderator. Where's Shahara? Shahara is missing.
Right. Can you come forward?
Come, both of you all.
Go to the center, Chamatya. We also call upon the moderators and panelists who are here, Pakiswati, please remain on stage, to take a group photograph. We call upon you. And Maitri, you're here, our keynote speaker today. And I think Omar has left at 12 o'clock, so he's not here. Okay.